look out, folks. The freedom of expression, the freedom of speech is something you really need to jealously guard. And that's what this bill does. It protects the teachers and allows them to exercise their freedom of speech.
And you said in your answer that it could be about academic freedom, but only for this particular subject. Is that what this bill's about? Academic freedom, the ability to teach what your opinion is, but only on this subject?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Thank you.
Does your bill allow students to respond to test questions based on what they believe rather than what they have been taught by their instructors?
No, ma'am.
Follow up. In your bill, then, is it accurate that it reads public school students in the state's K-12 school system shall be evaluated based upon their understanding of course materials through normal testing procedures? However, students shall not be penalized for subscribing to a particular position or view regarding biological or chemical evolution.
I think you're reading the original bill, and the amended bill does not have that language in it.
Thank you. He indicated that I must be looking at an earlier version of the bill, but that the amended version of the bill did not contain a provision for that. I'm looking at the engrossed version of the bill, which I understand includes all of the amendments, and it reads public school students in the state's K-12 school system shall be evaluated based upon their understanding of course materials through normal testing procedures. However, students shall not be penalized for subscribing to a particular position or view regarding biological or chemical evolution.
A concept like evolution may come up as a part of another subject, and why wouldn't the teacher be as protected there as he or she might be in terms of your particular one science course?
As far as I know, they are protected today.
Then why are we talking about, excuse me, Madam Chair, how come we're talking about academic freedom then only in this specific course if they're already protected?
For the same reasons that I reiterated 2 or 3 times already, is that this is such a lightning rod issue that we want to make sure that the teachers are comfortable knowing that they can lead their students in a critical analysis of the scientific theory of evolution.
You said this is really permissive, allowing students to be able to, teachers to be able to teach something they might otherwise be afraid of. You're not dictating, right? You're just allowing them.
The wording of the bill says that the teachers shall give a thorough presentation and a scientific critical analysis. The word shall is in there.
Okay.
So, yes, we are requiring it.
Are you aware that this bill will probably be a subject of a great deal of litigation involving our schools?
I would think your profession would welcome that. It's very difficult for me to speak any more plainly than I've already spoken. But what this bill does is tells the teacher to go ahead, teach the theory of evolution, and make sure that your students have a complete view of that theory, and they know that it is only a theory. It is not gospel law. There's no proof that any species has transitioned from one thing to another. No people have ever come from tadpoles that they have seen.
The sponsor of this bill told us the other day that there's no evidence of evolution turning a fly into a monkey. But this bill shows definitively that bad bills can turn legislators into monkeys. This legislation, according to the sponsor of the bill, corrects a problem that does not exist by instructing science teachers that they should teach science critically while they are the judges of what scientific critical analysis entails. There is no evidence that anyone has ever been harassed, punished, or held liable for doing anything contrary to what contemporary practice is, there is no problem here. In science, the term theory does not mean what it means in common everyday discourse. It does not mean a speculation. It doesn't even mean a hypothesis. Theory in science means the best truth that we can come up with now by critically accounting for the facts. It makes absolutely no sense. If we take the substance of this bill seriously, it makes no sense to specify that one theory alone should be subject to critical scientific analysis, because it is the nature of teaching science that all theories are subject to critical analysis. The best explanation of the facts in a kind of king of the hill struggle, not dogma, but not skepticism. You can't just believe whatever you want to believe. That kind of moral relativism has no place in a science classroom.
The difficulty that I have with this bill is that the sponsor seems not even to know what the definition of critical analysis is. Well, if you can't define a thing, then how in the world can you legislate it?
We all know that what we're really doing here is trying to open the door to teach non-scientific causes of creation in science classes. I think that creationism is a perfectly reasonable thing to discuss in religion classes or perhaps in social science classes. It does not belong in science classes whatsoever. If we are going to expect our children to have the kind of scientific knowledge that they need to compete for the good science jobs that we're trying to create here in Florida, we can't fool around with basic concepts like evolution. We need to teach the science and not the religion. Please vote no on this bill.
Members, I too attended Catholic school, 20 years of it. And I believe in evolution. I believe evolution or something like that happened. The Pope says it did. He says it's a fact. I believe it. But the theory of evolution is itself evolving. Every time they dig up a new fragment of bone or a fossil, and they change their theory a little bit. So all this bill does, folks, is ask that we keep the scientific inquiry open. We allow for critical evaluation. Continue the discussion. All the other comments about Representative Gibson said we're trying to stop something that is yet to happen. Heck, doesn't the seatbelt do that too?
But my question to you today is, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid that our students are going to learn how to critically analyze a theory? That's what you seem to be saying. And I suggest to you that Charles Darwin was definitely a scientist. And a true scientist will put his theory out there and invite you to pick it apart and say, how many different ways can you disprove that? A true scientist is searching for the truth. And that's what we should be encouraging our students and our teachers in the public schools of this state to search for every day, is search for the truth. And those teachers need to be able to lead that discussion without fear of losing their jobs or catching some other sort of flack from a bunch of people that don't like it. We would not be where we are today as a civilization if scientific theory had not been able to be questioned, had not been critically analyzed. So I would encourage you to go ahead, vote for this good bill. Make sure that our teachers are able to lead their students in a critical analysis of a scientific theory of evolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Have all members voted? Have all members voted? The clerk will lock the machine and announce the vote.
71 yeas, 43 nays, Mr. Speaker.
By your vote, show the bill passes.